Is everybody ready for land use? Director Ragsdale's ready for land use. Ms. Thomas, are you ready for land use? All right. All right, I will call to order committee number 5, Land Use, Planning, Transportation, and Codes. If we could read the first item.
Item 1 is an ordinance first reading. Ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code as adopted by Shelby County on August 9, 2010, to approve a zoning district change pursuant to Chapter 9.5 for property in unincorporated Shelby County located at the south of the intersection in Houston Levee Road and North Pisgah Road, being case number Z 2026-003 CO, sponsored by Commissioner David C. Bradford Jr. This item was deferred in July 22nd, 2026 committee meeting.
All right, thank you. I have moved the item, seconded by Commissioner Wright. I will turn it over to Mr. Ragsdale. I believe we have a substitute. Do you want me to go ahead and move the substitute to the floor for our discussion?
Yes, please.
All right. Commissioners, I believe you all have received a substitute item for this. I will move that to the floor. All right, we have a second. Any objections to this? And Mr. Ragsdale is going to explain it all to us here shortly. So, yes, please read the substitute caption.
The substitute caption for item 1 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Unified Development Code of the County of Shelby and the City of Memphis, Tennessee, granting a planned development for land located at 0 Pisgah Road, known as case number PD 2026-012 CO, sponsored by Commissioner David Bradford.
All right, thank you. Director Ragsdale, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. This was originally filed as a rezoning request. At the last committee meeting, it was remanded back to the Land Use Control Board to convert to a planned development. The rezoning requires 3 readings, and it's an ordinance. The planned development is only a resolution and requires 1 reading. So just to clarify that, so we have submitted the substitute resolution that replaces the ordinance that was the rezoning. So this is the planned development that has been proposed. So today we can present this, or if you would like, we could do the full presentations at the full commission meeting on Monday.
I believe this is in Commissioner Mills's district.
Correct.
I'm going to defer to her a little bit. I think maybe just giving us a high-level overview at this time, and then we'll send it down without recommendation and have the full detailed presentation on Monday. That will at least get everybody up to speed and know what's coming on Monday. Does that sound good with everybody? Okay. We just get the high-level presentation.
Sure. And Ms. Christian will give a brief presentation.
Good morning. I'm Chloe Christian with DPD. I'll be giving a brief overview of this proposal. The case number is PD 2026-012. As Director Ragsdale mentioned, this case was previously known as a rezoning case. The number for that was Z 2026-003, but this was remanded back to the Land Use Control Board to be refiled and converted into a planned development. This is in District 1 and located at the intersection of Pisgah and Houston Levee. Here's a location map and vicinity map of the property. We did mail out public notices on July 24th, and we did receive 1 letter of opposition that was received prior to the deadline to be included in the report, but I just wanted to mention that for the record. Next slide, please. The property is currently vacant, but it's zoned conservation agriculture, which allows for predominantly agricultural uses and some residential uses. And there are some multifamily, single family, and farmland uses surrounding. Next slide, please. Here are some photos of the property. It is vacant, as you can see. Next slide, please. This is the concept plan that was provided to us by the applicant. As you can see, there are 3 access points proposed on either side of the parcel, so 3 on Houston Levee and 3 on Pisgah Road, and some building footprints of what could potentially be, in this plan, self-storage and some warehouse uses, I believe, and a landscape buffer on both sides as well. Next slide. This plan just shows the location of easements and floodplain near the site. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, this case was previously in front of this body and the Land Use Control Board as a rezoning. At the May Land Use Control Board meeting, this case was recommended for rejection. However, this case was remanded back to the Land Use Control Board, and it did pass the Land Use Control Board with a vote of 5 yeses to 3 nos as a plan development request. The position of staff is rejection for this request, given the character of the surrounding area, and more significantly, the compatibility with the roads that service the location. Houston Levee and Mount Pisgah are narrow roads that, in our opinion, were not built to service a use or a proposal of this industrial intense nature. And in our opinion, the project would have a negative effect upon the adjacent property and the character of this area. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, as staff, we recommended rejection of the request. However, if approved, we do recommend the outline plan conditions that you can find in your resolution. And the Land Use Control Board recommended approval with a 5-3 vote according to the same outline plans that are available in the resolution. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Christian. I do see the representative from the developers here. Again, this is not our full-blown, so if you can give me just a 60-second your side of the story, that'll kind of get us prepped for the full thing on Monday.
Yes, sir. Dedrick Brittenham, 3385 Airways Boulevard, here in Memphis. I represent the developers for the Twinwood development. It's a planned development now, and Ms. Christian is correct that this matter came before the commission originally as a rezoning request, and at the suggestion of Commissioner Mills, the case was sent back to the Land Use Control Board and converted to a planned development. So the Land Use Control Board considered the planned development, including the conditions of the planned development that are part of the resolution, which stated that certain uses would not be allowed on this particular property. So we think it's a good case. It's going to be a employment center, employment magnet, and relative to the roads, as in Shelby County has always been a developer-driven widening improvements for roadways. The developer goes in and does it, and we've agreed with the Shelby County engineer to dedicate and improve Houston Levee Road and Pisgah Road. So with that, we ask that you please approve this excellent plan development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Britton. That was right at 60 seconds. Very well done. I do have a couple of commissioners in the queue. Commissioner Mills?
I was just going to move to send this down without recommendation and address it on Monday.
All right. I will hold that for just a second because Commissioner Brooks is in the queue. I want to make sure we get her question answered.
Good morning, thank you. So this planned development, what is the proximity to schools, or is it?
I don't have the exact number for distance, but I do know that Mount Pisgah Middle School is pretty near by the vicinity on Pisgah Road.
Pretty near, like 0.5, 0.1 miles?
I'd have to
Okay,
check,
well,
sorry.
you'll have it on Monday, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, the next question I have is, I'm curious about the rejection from the Land Use Control Board. And then the first time, it was total rejection, and then you still had 3 rejections the second time. So what was the nature of the rejection?
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. The original case was a zoning case, so a request for a rezoning, which could not be conditioned, so that received rejection. On the second vote as a plan development, there were conditions, so I think that there were some consideration of that, but I think that the, some of the conversation, some of the members, we discussed the traffic and the roads in the area. I know that, there are certain parts of Pisgah and Houston Levee that are widened, but there are a lot that are still 2-lane. And so I think that was, part of our concern. So I would suggest that that would probably be why the 3 other members voted to reject.
They did not state on the record?
They
their
did not.
rejection- The nature of their rejection?
They did not.
Okay.
But we made our presentation, and then the applicant made theirs, and so those points were all made in the presentations.
Okay. I'm familiar with Pisgah Road. I went to high school out there, so those roads are very small. I am concerned. I'd like to know a little bit more about why they rejected it. But I guess maybe the minutes, but you said they didn't put on the record.
That's correct, they did not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. All right, we will, I have a motion to send this down without recommendation. Any objections to that? Excuse me, second by Commissioner Wright. Any objections? All right, we will hear the full report on Monday. Thank you all. If we could read item number 2.
Item 2 is an ordinance third reading, joint ordinance to amend the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code adopted by the City of Memphis on August 10, 2010, and by Shelby County on August 9, 2010, to establish a procedure for replacing the zoning map being ZTA 2026-002, sponsored by Commissioner David C. Bradford, Jr.
Thank you. I have moved this item. It has been seconded by Commissioner Thornton. Mr. Ragsdale, go ahead. I think we know about this since this is the third time, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning Development. As you said, we have presented this and discussed this on 2 other occasions, so we're happy to provide a presentation or answer any questions that you might have.
I don't see anyone in the queue, and as this is an ordinance, we will vote on it, but obviously it'll be heard at the full agenda, so be prepared to make a presentation there as well, as you always are. All right, seeing no commissioners in the queue, let's take this item to a vote. All right, if all commissioners have voted, let's tally the results.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Wright, Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 5 aye votes.
Thank you. That item will go down with a favorable recommendation for Monday's meeting, and this concludes my final committee meeting.
All right, I guess that means we'll open up committee number 4, Law Enforcement, Corrections, and Courts. Madam Parliamentarian, would you read item 1, please?
Item 1 is an ordinance third reading, ordinance to amend the Shelby County Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 10, Article 7, Sections 10-373 definitions and 10-388 temporary housing of children, creating rules for seclusion and restorative practices in the Youth Justice and Education Center, sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman, Commissioner Charlie A. Caswell, Jr., Commissioner Henry Brooks, and Commissioner Brittany Thornton. This item was amended in August 10th, 2026 Commission meeting.
Thank you so much. This item has been moved by Commissioner Thornton. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Bradford. Ms. Dana, are you here to speak on this? Why don't you give us just we've heard this, obviously, we're in third reading, but if you'd give us just a brief refresher.
Dana Wilson, Deputy Chief of Staff for Mayor Harris. Thank you very much. I just want to thank all the commissioners for your support and who have signed on as sponsors of this ordinance. We have brought Director Alexander from the Department of Corrections and Executive Director Reese Walker from the Youth Justice and Education Center to speak to this ordinance, as well as community members. And we just are want to remind you that this is about very limiting seclusion of youth in the Youth Justice and Education Center and establishing restorative justice practices. All of these everything that's in this ordinance is, I think, consistent with the desires and the goals of both the community and those who are operating the Youth Justice and Education Center at this time. And we encourage this body to basically set the bar high, and it can only go up from here. It won't go down. And we want to make sure that we protect and support young people who are in our care, and especially because these youth are pre-adjudicated. They have not been adjudicated yet. They are simply being held, and so we need to treat them with as much support and dignity and care as we can. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I have no one in the queue. Let's go ahead and take this to a vote, please. If all commissioners have voted, we can close the screen and report the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Wright, Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 4 aye votes.
Thank you. That item will move down with a favorable recommendation. I thought there were some pending items that the sheriff's office had for add-on today, but I don't see anyone present to do that. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but like Vice Chair Bradford said, that will conclude for the final time Committee 4. Thank you. And we have, let's see, we have 3 minutes into our next committee. All right, Commissioners, I have 9:10 on the clock. We can go ahead and open up Committee Number 15, Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements. Madam Parliamentarian, would you do me the honor of reading Item 1, please?
Item 1 is a resolution approving a first lease extension and a second lease extension agreement between the County of Shelby and Secure Community Federal Credit Union, FKA, Shelby County Federal Credit Union, for 1,364 square feet of office space located at 160 North Main Street, 4th floor, Memphis, Tennessee 38103, for the first lease extension agreement term beginning February 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2025, for a total of $8,951.25, and for the second lease extension agreement term beginning July 1st, 2025 through January 31st, 2028, for a total of $22,378.25. The total amount of rental payments to be received in FY 2027 is $10,741.56, sponsored by Commissioner McWright.
Thank you so much. This item has been moved by Commissioner Bradford, seconded by Commissioner Thornton. Is there anyone here? Commissioner Brooks.
I have a question, but apparently there's no one here. Is there anyone here that can maybe answer a question about this?
Is anyone from the land bank present? I don't see anyone.
This is not good. Okay. So I guess we'll have to get a memo out and maybe request a presenter for Monday, which will prolong our meeting. Maybe the memo should include presenters for the administration should be present on Wednesdays for the committee meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Brooks. I concur with your comments there. So Commissioners, do you want to send this down without recommendation then, since we don't have a presentation? I'm seeing.
I'll make that motion.
All right, there's a motion by Vice Chair Bradford. Is there a second? Second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Mills. Can we do that without objection? Hearing none, so moved. So that item will go down without recommendation for Monday. Looks like we do have an add-on. Ms. Alston, if you would come up. And then, Madam Parliamentarian, could you read this item in?
And I just wanted to note that we just looked, it doesn't have a routing sheet, so it would require suspension of the rules to be added on. Yes, sir. Item 2 is an add-on item. Item 2 is a resolution approving a contract between Shelby County Government and CS3 Inc. and the issuance of an emergency purchase order to CS3 Inc. in an amount not to exceed $69,524.10 for temporary chiller services at the jail annex located at 271 Poplar Avenue. This item requires the appropriation and expenditure of FY 2026 general funds in an amount not to exceed $69,524.10, sponsored by Commissioner McWright.
Just a second, please. I'll have to type it in.
You need to go and make a motion to suspend the rules.
First, she's
She's
going.
got to type it first.
Well, because we didn't, she said.
I'm just going to say this on the mic so anyone listening can follow along. We are allowing staff a moment to type in this add-on, and then we'll get it moved and added to the floor. All right, Madam Minutes Clerk, I think I heard what you said.
I didn't type the full caption, but it's enough for you to be able to vote on it.
All right, thank you so much. I don't have it on my screen. I don't know if others do. Is there a mover?
I've got Bradford and Thornton showing up.
That's from the last item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So moved by Commissioner Mills.
I'll move.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Mills,
Second.
second by Vice Chair Bradford. Now, Madam Parliamentarian, we need to suspend the rules.
So moved.
So there's a motion by Vice Chair Bradford to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Mills. Can we do that without objection? Hearing none, so moves. This item is now before us. Ms. Alston, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for your flexibility in getting this item added on. Support Services is responsible for chiller maintenance services throughout the facilities. Unfortunately, we experienced a failure in the chiller at the jail annex area. We responded immediately to ensure the air was taken care of by putting a temp chiller on site. That temp chiller remains on site at this time as we are working through I'm sorry, we're working through an agreement with Train, of which this body approved the replacement of the temp chiller, or the chillers down at 271 along with 280. So this was done in FY '26, and we are just trying to properly account for the charges that took place.
Great, thank you so much. Is there any, Commissioner Mills?
Thank you. I support this. My question is the payment of these contracts with the new system. Is that going well? Are there issues with, can you kind of enlighten us on that? Because we haven't heard, and I know there's been issues in the past.
Nicole Austin, Administrator of Support Services. With this particular vendor, I am not aware of any issues with payment. As we receive invoices, we already have a purchase order in place to make sure that it's paid.
Okay, I'm glad to hear there's no issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else in the queue, let me ask just briefly, what was the time frame that this took place?
This was May of 2026, so this is for, I think, 2 months of services plus setup.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else in the queue, let's go ahead and take this to a vote, please. If every member has voted, we can close the screen and report the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills and Bradford. I'm sorry, we have aye votes from Commissioners Wright, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 3 aye votes.
Thank you. That item will move down with a favorable recommendation, and that could conclude Committee 15.
All right, I don't see Commissioner Whaley or Mayor-elect Lowry, so I will call to order Committee Number 1, Budget and Finance, if we could read the first item.
Item 1 is a resolution to amend the Shelby County Government Fiscal Year FY 2026 operating budget in order to transfer funds from the General Fund to the Correction Center Enterprise Fund, the Group Health Insurance Fund, the On-the-Job Injury Fund, and to commit general fund balance for tort fund liability. This item requires the transfer of FY 2026 general fund balance in the amount of $4,423,908.63 to the Correction Center Enterprise Fund, $549,810.69 to the Group Health Insurance Fund, $100,000 to the On-the-Job Injury Fund, and commitment of $2,111,869.04 general fund balance for tort liability and the appropriation of such funds for a total amount not to exceed $7,185,588.36. Sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley.
Thank you. I have moved this item, and Commissioner Wright has seconded it. Good morning. I don't know who's going to speak to this. Go ahead.
Good morning, Danielle Schoenbaum, Deputy Director, Administration and Finance. This is a summary of items. As you know, at the end of every year, we review our fund balance or our cash position in across funds to make sure that they are not in a negative position, and we need to amend the budget to cover those funds that have a negative fund balance to transfer, to increase transfers from the general fund to those funds. So this is that summary of substitute. Oh. And so with tort this year, we are committing fund balance rather than transferring that fund balance, as the cash normally doesn't go out during the year. We have to accrue expected liabilities, but tort cases normally take an extended period of time, so we are just committing those funds in general fund this year.
Commissioner Whaley, are you ready to take the helm, or you want me to keep rolling?
Yeah, no, I've got it. Thanks so much. Yeah, all right, Commissioner Brooks.
Just a couple of questions, maybe one. How much do we have in our tort liability fund?
It's approximately 13 million currently.
So whatever is left over from one fiscal year to the next, what happens to those dollars? Does it roll over?
So we do an assessment at the end of every year based on anticipated liabilities, and we adjust that number to reflect those expected liabilities. If the liabilities increase, we would either transfer or commit more funds. If the anticipated liabilities went down, then we would reverse those funds back to the general fund.
Okay, so that I understand, this is just so new to me. How do you define, or how do you set up anticipated liabilities?
We work with legal to, they provide as part of the audit anticipated liabilities. As part of our audit, we have to accrue for probable liabilities, and so legal reviews their cases and provides us information around that.
For an example.
Well, I can't give you specific
Well, just
information about pending cases.
No, I didn't ask that. I just say for an example, hypothetical.
Hypothetically, somebody sues the county and we believe that it will result in a financial obligation to the county.
Okay.
That there is a high probability of that, then we have to accrue for that expense.
Okay, so now that accrual, would that be something that the county attorney's office internally handles, or would that be something that we outsource to a contract firm?
The case? I'm not sure what you're asking.
Case or cases. I mean, do we handle those or do we outsource those? I'm just trying to understand, because it's so new to me. I'm trying to understand where our dollars are. Are dollars for litigation in-house, or those accrued anticipated liabilities, dollars set aside for contract firms?
Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. The way our attorney's office works, and I think Attorney Smith or we have our other attorney here that can speak to that, but we use both. So it's in-house and out. And normally, as Deputy Director Shambaugh mentioned, each year, any potential litigation that we have that's pending, we assess that along with the county attorney's office primarily, and the accounting rule is that we have to accrue for any of those pending litigation cases that could potentially have a financial impact to the county. So that's how the accrual is set up each year. So it's reviewed annually. The cases are reviewed annually by the county attorney's office, and the accrual is done in the finance office as part of the financial analysis.
Is there a cap on our tort liability cases?
That would be a legal question.
All right, Commissioner Brooks, I don't think the timer started for you, but why don't we, if you still need a little more time, if we can put maybe 1 minute.
If she can answer that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, all right.
And I'll be finished.
Megan Smith, County Attorney's Office, there's no cap on exposure that can be accrued by the county.
Okay.
There's individual caps in certain types of cases, but
Okay.
what you're talking about here, there's no general cap on exposure.
But we do have caps, certain caps on various tort cases.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Thornton.
Thank you, Chair. Director Schomburg, can you I stepped in the middle of you discussing this item. So for the discussion around the fiscal '26 operating budget, what exactly is this doing to that budget?
Danielle Schonbaum, Deputy Director, Administration and Finance. This is amending the budget.
And so, since we have approved the fiscal year '27 budget, how does that work?
These items will hit fund balance.
So they're not budgeted in fiscal year '26?
They will be, the budget, the FY '26 budget will be amended for these items.
And so I guess I'm just trying to understand the parameters that allow us to do that. So since we have already, it was my understanding that fiscal '26 was a closed process, and so we can, while we're operating within fiscal year '27, go make amendments to fiscal year '26. Can you just say more of how we're able to do that?
So accounting regulations require us not to have negative cash in certain funds, including enterprise funds and some internal service funds. As such, we have to do an assessment, which we cannot do until the year is complete. And when we review those accounts, then we come back and amend the budget to transfer additional funds if needed. So we're not amending the budget operationally for any kind of item. This is very specific with respect to accounting regulation.
And so when we started our planning for fiscal year '26, we didn't account for enough funds in this particular line item. And now we're having to go and put the proper amount that is needed based on what we've seen for our year-end actuals. Correct?
Thank you. Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. What we're doing right now is finalizing the FY '26 actuals. So it has been estimated that these expenditures occurred in FY '26. So we're not reopening anything. We're still closing the books for FY '26. So this resolution allows us to actually record those accruals that occurred in FY '26 by appropriating the right amount of budget.
But because we're going to the fund balance, we don't have sufficient funds to cover what is actually needed.
That is correct. So for the FY '26 budget, for these type of expenditures, you're basically doing an estimate. So you're estimating throughout the year, and then when the actuals come in, you have to true that up.
All right. Before I go back to you, Commissioner Thornton, maybe what might be helpful here is just giving us maybe a comparison of, I mean, this is a resolution we bring every year, so can you just give us a comparison of how these numbers relate to prior fiscal years? I'm sure you maybe not have that on top of your head, but these are transfers that are always done to true up the funds. Are there any outliers in this fiscal year '26 cleanup versus, let's say, just last year, 2 years ago, '25?
Danielle Schonbaum, Deputy Director, Administration and Finance. This is actually significantly less than prior year. Last year, if I remember correctly, we were around 13 million in total, 13, 14 million in total. I don't have that exact number in front of me, but the corrections number was larger last year. We had some other items that we also had to transfer last year. So this is more, I mean, obviously, it's still going to hit fund balance, which is something we don't want to do, but it is moving in the right direction.
Yep. Okay. All right. Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. Just two more questions. What is the impact on the fund balance upon approving this resolution? And then the second one is in line with what Chairman Whaley just mentioned. Can you show us the historical trends for let's do the Correction Center Enterprise Fund, the On-the-Job Injury Fund, and then are there any other funds associated with the Tort Fund?
Yeah, we can bring that on Monday.
Okay. And by historical, how far back would it not be too much of an inconvenience? Could we do 10 years? 10 years. Okay. 10 years. Thank you so much. And then the impact on the fund balance.
So in this particular resolution, just over 5 million will be transferred out of fund balance. And so that will hit directly fund balance. The 2 million that is being committed for tort won't be transferred out of fund balance, but will show as a commitment, so thus reducing our unassigned fund balance.
So with that 5 million committed, what remains in the fund balance going into fiscal year 27?
So our estimated fund balance will be around 80 million this year, which is flat to last year. We are still in the process of closing the county's books, so those numbers aren't final, but that is our estimated fund balance currently.
Okay. And per our policy, what % would that be?
That is, and that's total fund balance, not just unassigned fund balance, that's 15%.
And our policy recommends?
20 to 30%.
20 to 30%. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you all very much. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen to vote on item number 1. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Wright, Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 5 aye votes.
All right, item 1 will go down with a favorable recommendation. Item number 2.
Item 2 is a resolution receiving and filing of 2 State of Tennessee forms, number CT-0253, report on debt obligation for the Shelby County government in connection with the issuance, sale, and delivery of its interfund tax anticipation note, Series 2026A, and tax anticipation note, Series 2026B, as authorized by the County Commission on July 27th, 2026. Item number 29, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley.
All right, thank you. Item 2 moved by Commissioner Bradford. I've seconded the item. All right, good morning, Deputy Director Schonbaum.
Good morning, Danielle Schonbaum, Deputy Director, Administration and Finance. This is really a housekeeping item. As you recall, we brought before you tax anticipation note borrowing, which you recently approved. That borrowing closed last Thursday. As part of this transaction, we are required to submit these forms with the state, and as such, we are requesting your approval.
All right, see no one on the screen. Madam Clerk, we can prepare the screen to vote on item number 2. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Wright, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 5 aye votes.
All right, item 2 goes down with a favorable recommendation. Item number 3.
Item 3 is a resolution amending the fiscal year 2027 adopted budget in the amount of $260,111.32 for the Criminal Court Clerk's Office to fully staff and update the 2 courtrooms in criminal court, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley. This item does not meet requirements of permanent rules.
All right, item 3 moved by Commissioner Bradford. I will second the item. First, so I've got a substitute for this, but first we need to suspend the rule to hear the item that's in the system. Someone to move to suspend the rule. Second by Vice Chairman Bradford. Can we do that without objection? All right, hearing none, the items before us. I'm going to move the substitute item number 3. that is being passed out. If we can get a second. Seconded by Vice Chairman Bradford. Without objection?
Can I read the substitute caption?
No objection? Okay, let's read the substitute caption.
The substitute caption is as follows: Resolution amending the Shelby County Government Fiscal Year 2027 operating budget, reallocating funds in the amount of $260,111.32 from general fund and $400,000 from opioid abatement fund in order to fully staff and update the 2 new courtrooms in criminal court from the general fund and add additional staff to the mental health court from the opioid abatement fund, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley.
All right, thank you. So this substitute is one that I prepared. The goal here was to accomplish a few things at once. So I'm hoping that everyone understands that and is comfortable with it. One is because the initial resolution was going to draw from fund balance, which is something that we want to try to avoid if we can. In the budget process, we allocated funding to mental health court from the general fund. And so what this does is swap funding sources. So it funds the mental health commitment in FY27 with opioid special revenue funds, and then it funds the need for the new criminal courts through the general fund in an amount that's less than that opioid abatement allocation. So what this resolution also does is have the effect of actually increasing the general fund balance by about 130 plus $1,000. So that is what's in this resolution. What I'd like, Clerk Kuhn, what I'd like you to do is just go over the request that you have so that we can understand that, because that needs to also be considered on its own. So to put the floor to you.
Thank you. Hello, Commissioners. Good morning. Heidi Kuhn, Criminal Court Clerk, and I also have Brian Harder here, who is my Director of Finance. As you all know, the state mandated 2 courtrooms, 2 additional criminal court divisions, which is 9 and 11, and we are obligated statutorily to have 2 clerks per courtroom, and we are also obligated to make sure that we have the technology for those courtrooms as well. And so that was our ask, because this all came after the budget. And so it was $260,000, $111.32 for the 4 positions we're requesting, including fringe. Additionally, the technology that's going to be needed in those 2 divisions.
All right, Commissioner Wright.
Thank you, Chair Whaley. Good morning, Clerk Kuhn. I guess my first question is, was this submitted as part of the budget proposal?
Commissioner, this was not. My Director of HR and my CAO came to you on May 20th and communicated that this was going to be a need before the budget process, because it wasn't in our current, or it wasn't in our submitted budget. And there were no questions, and there was an understanding that we would be coming to you all with this request. And they came back saying that there were no questions about it, and they understood that we would be asking for this funding.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me how that went down in the budget hearings. I guess my other maybe point or question would be, when we went down from 10 to 9, I know there was a motion made to reduce staffing in the criminal court clerk's office. I think that resolution or that amendment was rejected by this body, and at the time the discussion was that the number of cases would not be reduced, so the same work was still there. So is the opposite true as well? I mean, is it still the same amount of work, or help me understand why it should be that we add staff when we add courts, but we don't reduce staff when we reduce courts?
The Division 9 that was taken away had 2 clerks in that courtroom. In 2024, when it was taken away, what we did was we repurposed those positions within our office because of the need that we had. One was put into appeals and one was put in records and retention. So we didn't have that opportunity to be able to utilize those clerks that were in Division 9 at the first time. So the request is, we need those additional 4 clerks to be able to staff those 2 brand-new divisions.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Wright. Commissioner Brooks?
Just a little clarification here in reference to House Bill 1268, that's referenced on page 2 here. That's the bill that established those 2 courts, right? So in that bill, does it mandate that the county commission has to fund these staff positions?
We are statutorily required to staff those courtrooms, and so yes, we would need that additional funding, much like you funded the PD's office as well as the DA's office for those same divisions.
No, they didn't answer my question. That's not what I asked. Respectfully, I'm asking, does House Bill 1268 require the county commission to fund? I know what your statutory obligations are, but does this bill require the county commission to fund the positions? Does it require us to pay for it?
I don't think it states that specifically in the bill.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Judge Renfro?
Can you hear me? Thank you so much, Commissioner Sheila Bruce Renfro, Judge, General Sessions Division 9, Mental Health Court. I'm kind of taken by surprise by this last-minute change. I just want to make the commission aware. It's my understanding that you're substituting the amount that was put in the general fund for mental health court for the first time in 10 years and reallocating it to the clerk's office. Is that what we're doing today?
No, the amount stays the same. So there was, and it's in the resolution, so there was $400,000 that was approved as a budget amendment. That went to a mental health services coordinator, peer recovery counselor, part-time coordinator. So that stays the same. So there's no change to the positions or the funding. It's just a matter of internally how we're allocating it, which allows us to not only ensure that we've staffed the criminal court, the additional criminal court divisions, but also returns $140,000 to the fund balance and still allows you to receive the funding that was approved in the budget process.
Yes, Commissioner. Sheila Bruce Renfro, Judge, General Sessions Division 9, Mental Health Court. By changing it, reallocating it to opioid funds, it does kind of tie us up with regard to how we can spend the funds. With regard to opiate funds, they must be spent in a certain way in compliance with the grant, and we don't have those holes. That will make us stay at those employees that we had. We need to grow. The state has mandated that mental health grows, and that $400,000 we had planned to use to have more employees, we won't be able to use it for anything else other than that, and it would just keep us at 4 employees and will restrict our growth because we can't use the opioid funds for employees.
Okay, can finance please clarify this?
Thank you. Good morning. Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. There are 2 revenue streams that come into the opioid funds. The bulk of the money is coming from the Tennessee Opioid Abatement Council, which is held to the mandate of all of the policy and rules of the opioid fund. There is another smaller portion, which is sufficient right now. It's about $400,000, which is why I agreed to this swap that can be used basically for operations within the county. So it stays in the opioid fund, so you can use it for the opioid fund, or you can use it for other mental health issues or things of that nature. So that is why we did agree to go ahead and allocate that $400,000 from general fund for the mental health court.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, let's go back to the screen. Commissioner Mills, we'll go to you.
Thank you. My concern, I guess this might be, my concern is using one-time opioid funds to fund salaries, recurring cost. I don't know if the sponsor would like to speak to this and the proper use of it. Is this, to her point, the judge's point, that it can only be used for certain things? Is this the purpose that she wanted the funding for?
Sure. No, I mean, I think that's all valid, and you know, we can decide we don't want to do this, but I think what I'm trying to propose here is what seems like a reasonable solution, where we don't dip into fund balance by $260,000, but we also use a stream of the opioid special revenue fund that does allow for this type of expense in a division that would directly qualify. And has the effect of putting funds back into the fund balance, which we just heard is significantly below the policy. So that's the option, sort of the option C that I'm proposing with this. We can vote this down if we don't like it. That's okay. But my hope was that we can accomplish multiple things at once. And I certainly understand that, you know, not everyone is going to be happy with everything, but we have to find ways to ensure that we're making sustainable decisions. Because opioid funds are not just one time. They do have actually a very long schedule that we've seen of when they may come in. And as we all know, the budget from year to year is at the discretion of the commission. So the commission could decide to stop funding something. It could decide to continue funding something. And there's nothing that can really guarantee that because this body has the authority, the budgetary authority to do so. So that would just be my response. I mean, you know, if we don't like it, we don't like it, but that's sort of the option that's in front of us. All right, Commissioner Caswell, and then we'll go back to Commissioner Brooks.
Thank you, Chair. And to that point, I hear you, Judge, when you say about the staffing. And my concern with that is when the opioid fund was used for district connection, it was for staffing. And I think your court lies more in line, perfectly in line with use of these funds. Like, at this point, I'm like, where do it really matter where it's coming from, as long as it can do the job that it's called to do? Judge.
Sheila Bruce Renfro, Judge, General Sessions Division, Non-Mental Health Court. These are opioid funds. They're intended for people with opioid issues. Not everyone that comes in mental health court has an opioid issue.
Yeah. To that point, Judge, is that even what we established with the district connector work, it was about root cause issues that lead to drug abuse. It may not, mental health may not, but it's root cause issues.
Well, y'all trying to make it fit in the square, round hole, square peg, whatever you want to do, but after 10 years, we finally got into the budget.
Yeah.
It's being changed. It's my understanding that I was supposed to be here today to get opioid funds on top of that funding. Right. I find myself in this peculiar predicament when I'm fighting to keep what you already voted for me to have.
But Judge, and I hear you, and I just say this, and Chair, to the judge, is that I don't see this body taking from you. It's keeping the same. And to my colleague point about recurring staff, you just said this is the first time that it's done, other than opera dollars that was used before this. My thing is that the body still have the decision, how do they support these type of issues? And I'm just hearing the budget chair trying to do something that allows us, when we still looking at payroll and everything else that we're talking about in our budget, just trying to get us straight. Judge, and again, if it was about taking away, I wouldn't be supportive. But what I support is that if we can do two things and still be able to keep our leverage or continue to build in the fund balance where we need to be, I'm trying to figure it out. And that's just to the point of what was funded for root cause issues that lead to that type of behavior. I think we're talking about something that we shouldn't be when we're talking about where it's coming from and this being taken away. Nothing is being taken away.
It's being restricted, Commissioner, with all due respect. from the general fund, the way that we had it, and the uses that we had it, we are being restricted by switching those funds out. But you're
Yeah.
right, the commission can do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Caswell. Commissioner Brooks?
I'm so confused here, and I really need the minutes from our last FY '26 budget meeting, because if my memory serves me correctly, there was an agreement of 400,000 from the general fund, in addition to 500,000 for the mental health court. And what I really need to know is, and I understand, the situation with, that we're in, let me just say that without going into detail, but also understand that this court, and there was quite a bit of conversation in reference to this mental health court and the work that they've done to try to raise money outside of coming to us. So, and that's in my head, and I'm thinking about that conversation. But let me just say, without having the minutes here, and hopefully we will have those on Monday, that we need to stick to what we agreed upon. We shouldn't be changing horses in the middle of the stream. And if we are not mandated by state law, like they like to mandate everything, and we're in the situation that we're in, then we should not take money and put in this court, fund these two positions in this court, General Sessions Court, all of a sudden, when we've already promised money to mental health court. It's just not mandated by state government. We don't have to do it. We are in a situation where we don't have the money to do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Clay Bibbs?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just want to make sure I'm tracking correctly. The $400,000 that we put in the budget for mental health court, you're just saying changing the funding source from general fund to opioid fund. Now, I do have a question regarding the staff members. Let's say you get the funding for the new staff members. When will this court officially open up to serve?
Heidi Kuhn, Criminal Court Clerk. Thank you, Commissioner. It is supposed to be standing as of September 1st. So obviously, if we get these 4 positions, we're not going to have them available on the 1st. So we have to poll our supervisors to be in the courtroom for that court to be standing on September 1st. And then once we receive the positions and they're trained, then those individuals will go into the courtroom and the supervisors will be pulled out.
Got it, okay. Is there a plan will that stay your plan if these positions are not funded?
We need those positions. As I've said, we're state mandated to have 2 clerks in every courtroom. And since these courtrooms and divisions were mandated, we would be non-compliant if we didn't have those clerks within the courtroom. And so we needed this funding to be able to get the 4 positions because the office cannot absorb or have those supervisors in the courtroom when they have other responsibilities.
Got it, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Clay Bibbs. Any other commissioners wishing to speak on this item? All right, Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen to vote on item number 3.
And I'm sorry, Chair, just point of information, I'm prepared to vote, or abstain probably from this vote, but we're going to have more information to clarify that the money could be used for a position. Can we have that for Monday? I know I just spoke with the attorney to say that the money can be used for these positions with opioid for that court. If I can have that on Monday, that'll help us.
Yeah, if we can, Director Titten, we can just make sure everyone's got that written down. That would help us. Okay, yep.
Chairman, point of information, I'd like to get the minutes from the last meeting, FY '26 budget meeting.
Okay.
Prior to Monday.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure. I'm sure that can be done. Okay. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Wright, and Bradford. Commissioner Brooks has voted no. Commissioners Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Mills, Thornton, and Chairwoman Avant have abstained. We have 3 ayes, 1 no, 5 abstained.
All right, item 3 will go down with a favorable recommendation. I do think I've seen a couple add-ons. Madam Parliamentarian, which do you have? Do we have? I'm also just getting them, so.
We're working on it.
Okay.
We don't have the numbers yet.
Yeah, why don't we recess this committee? Yeah, Commissioner Wright, we'll go back to you.
Commissioners, I was asked to call back to order the previous committee, Committee 15, to reconsider item number 1. Can we do that? So I don't know if that causes a problem for you, minutes clerk, but can we pull up Committee 15 and read item 1? Or okay. Well, I'll defer to whoever. If we just need to pause or.
Chair,
Yeah.
Chair, I recommend just maybe a 10-minute recess for them to catch up.
Yeah.
She has the 2 items.
Yeah,
Maybe 5
okay.
minutes, maybe
Yeah,
5
we can
minutes.
take a 5-minute recess, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right, commissioners, thank you for your patience with us. We are going to go ahead and reopen Committee 15, Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements, so we can reconsider item number 1 when we're ready. So could we read item 1 again?
Yes, sir. Item 1 is a resolution approving a first lease extension and a second lease extension agreement between the County of Shelby and Secure Community Federal Credit Union, FK, Shelby County Federal Credit Union, for 1,364 square feet of office space located at 160 North Main, 4th floor, Memphis, Tennessee, 38103, for the first lease extension agreement, term beginning February 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2025, for a total of $8,951.25, and for the second lease extension agreement, term beginning July 1st, 2025, through January 31st, 2028, for a total of $22,378.25. The total amount of rental payments to be received in FY 2027 is $10,741.56, sponsored by Commissioner McWright. This item was moved by Vice Chair Bradford, second by Commissioner Thornton, and the item was sent down without recommendation.
Thank you so much. So do we need a new mover and seconder for this, or?
So it's my understanding that there is, because staff is now here and prepared to make a presentation, they want this to go down with recommendation. So the item can be reconsidered on the motion to send down with that recommendation. If properly approved to reconsider it, then the item just comes back as it was for a vote. Yes.
So am I making that motion to reconsider
Did you
then,
vote
or-
were you on the side of voting for it to go down without recommendation? Then
Yes.
yes, you may make that motion.
All right, I'll make that motion to reconsider item 1. Can we do that without objection? Oh, we need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Thornton. Can we do that without objection? All right, hearing none, so now this item is back before us. And Ms. Sykes-Wood, if you would, please give us a presentation.
Thank you. Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. Again, my sincerest apologies for missing the first committee, and thank you for your indulgence to rehear this. I heard that there were some questions about the lease. I am here to provide any answers that you might need.
All right, thank you so much. Are there commissioners that have a question on this item? Commissioner Thornton.
Thank you, Chair. I was in and out for the previous discussion, but as we have these lease agreements, I'm just curious, how long have we had the lease with Secure Community Federal Credit Union?
Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. Their first one looks like was done in 2021. And that is an exhibit to your Exhibit B.
And I'm assuming that the initial lease was when we started providing the service?
Correct.
And have we seen fluctuation in the terms of this lease, or has it been consistent year to year?
Esther Sykes-Wood, I'm not certain I understand the question.
Just the cost of the lease?
Correct. Yes, during negotiations for the second lease, Shelby County Federal Credit Union requested a zero lease payment because of the location. While it is accessible to county employees, it's not accessible to the public at large. And so it's not exactly a wonderful fiscal location for them. They were wanting to go somewhere else downtown. However, they were not able to find another location, and after talking with the administration, we offered to half their rent so that the county employees could still enjoy the convenience of having the location within this building.
And since 2021, I'm sorry, Chair, I don't see a timer. Okay, since 2021, so can you just show us how much the lease has been since 2021?
Okay, so we have Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. My apologies, I'm looking in the previous lease to find the amount.
And it's, not to hold up today, I was just thinking if it's not already in the documents, if you could just email it to the entire body.
Yes, Commissioner, I can.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thornton. Commissioner Brooks?
Ms. Sykes-Wood, first of all, who is Secure Community Federal Credit Union?
Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. That is the Shelby County Federal Credit Union. They just changed their name a few months ago.
Okay. So they're governed by a board of directors, right?
I'm sorry?
The credit union is governed by a board of directors.
I am not aware of the makeup of that entity. I
Okay,
can try and find that information.
Okay, who initiated this additional space, lease space?
Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. It's not additional space. It's for their current space in the fourth floor here. The lease was expiring, and we reached out to them about a year before the lease expired to see if they wanted to continue their lease at that location, and that's when the negotiations I spoke of before ensued.
Okay, so the lease was expiring, and so what we're doing now is giving them an extension through 28.
Yes, that would be January 31st, 2028.
And what, and why? They need more space for what?
Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator, they would like to stay at their current space. We're not.
You're not adding any space?
Correct.
They're just staying there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is approved by the administration?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. Seeing no one else in the queue, we can take this to a vote. Thank you, Ms. Sykes-Wood.
Thank you.
If every member has voted, we can close the screen and record the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Wright, Thornton, and Avant, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Brooks has abstained. We have 4 ayes, 1 abstained.
Thank you. That item will now go down with a favorable recommendation for Monday, and that once again concludes Committee 15.
All right, we'll go back to committee number 1. So before we go to the add-on item, item 3 went down with a favorable recommendation. So let's call up item 4.
Item 4 is an add-on item. Item 4 is a resolution establishing the District 10 Community Opioid Abatement Initiative and appropriating $270,000, consisting of $30,000 to each of the 9 community-based organizations serving priority District 10 neighborhoods, utilizing Shelby County opioid settlement funds, providing for eligible opioid abatement and remediation activities, contracting expenditure documentation, reporting outcome measures and community partnerships, and authorizing necessary budgetary actions sponsored by Commissioner Brittany Thornton. Just want to note that this item did not go through a legal or finance review and is missing other items required, and so that you would need to suspend the rules for this to be properly before us.
Okay, thank you. Item moved by Commissioner Thornton. Is there a second? All right, seconded by Commissioner Wright. So we'll need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, Commissioner Thornton has made a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any objection? Okay, hearing none, this item is properly before us. Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. So this particular item is an item to utilize the remaining 900,000+ dollars in the opioid settlement fund. As we know, this particular crisis is one that impacts the entire county. And so in looking at the amount of equipped organizations within District 10 who are ready to do the work, I have earmarked these funds for them to complete approved expenditures. As we know, in order for the opioid funds to be utilized, there are rules and regulations and guidelines that have to be adhered to. And so finance has confirmed that the $900,000 is in the bank. Legal is waiting to hear officially from the council that the uses outlined in this resolution can be utilized. And so I did look at the document provided for us and see within the document provided to us that the uses outlined are in alignment. So just waiting on confirmation, which I think will be with us by our Monday meeting.
Okay, seeing no one else on the screen. All right, Chairwoman Avant.
Thank you, Chair. So just for finance, when we're talking about the use of the opioid funds, maybe this is a question for legal rather than finance, outlining what those uses are and these organizations, is that what you are researching at this point? And this is a question for legal.
Megan Smith, County Attorney's Office, we are looking at the project as a whole is what we asked the consultants to look at, including focusing the nonprofit and spend and projects in a specific district. That's the question we've sent to our consultants.
So I know that we use like the district connectors, but that was across the entire county.
Correct.
So is that one of the concerns because it's just district focused?
Right, whether or not, we know that we can use opioid money with nonprofits. We know that we can use opioid money for project activities, many like these in the resolution. The real question is whether or not the spend can be limited by a political district.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Wright.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I also have some questions. One would be, is this, I know we've had other District 10 plans, so I would want to know if any of this is duplicative in any way. I know that there's been issues in getting that funding out the door. So I'm just curious about whether or not there's any duplication. The second is, I know this body also put in place a pause of some kind on grant spending. I know there's another item in our agenda that has a date of November 1st. I don't recall offhand whether that date was the controlling date or not, but if so, I would probably move to make this effective as of that same date. So those are the two questions, and I see the sponsor in the queue, so I'll defer to you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Wright. Commissioner Thornton.
Thank you so much, Chair, and thank you for those questions. So I'm taking all of your feedback and we'll bring a substitute on Monday if needed from the review by the consultants. Just to your point, Commissioner Wright, to the duplicative nature possibly of this. So I will also bring a status report of what has been signed off from the mayor. So $4.5 million have passed through commission approval. The ultimate figure is substantially lower that the mayor has actually signed off on. So I would dare say that these organizations have not been invested in and definitely have not had any funding earmarked for fiscal year 27 because we didn't put forth any District 10 plan in the budget that we currently are operating within. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Thornton. Do you want to just move this down without recommendation then? You're going to substitute it?
Absolutely. Well, actually, I'm just curious if I can to see the will of the body.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right. Commissioner Wright.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and, if the sponsor is seeking a vote, I'll go ahead and make that motion to add or maybe someone can help me add that date, the effective date of November 1. Can someone help me with that? Maybe Attorney Smith, is there a way we could make this effective as of November 1 to be in keeping with the previous actions of the board?
Megan Smith, County Attorney's Office, pending approval by the consultant, an effective date is acceptable, as long as it's beyond the statutory or the charter provision for authorization, which that would be.
All right, so I don't know if I can just make that a motion or if I need anything more specific.
No, I think you can make a motion. So you want to make a motion to make the resolution effective November 1st, 2026. Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Thornton, without objection. Okay, so we'll add language within this to be considered on Monday that says effective November 1st. All right, Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen to vote. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Wright and Thornton, Commissioners Whaley, Mills, Brooks, and Chairwoman Avant have abstained. We have 2 ayes and 4 abstained.
All right, item 4 will go down with a favorable recommendation. Item number 5.
Item 5 is an add-on item. Item 5 is a resolution prohibiting the appropriation, allocation, transfer, or expenditure of Shelby County funds in support of litigation challenging the Educational Oversight Board established for Memphis Shelby County Schools pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated Section 49-1-616, and for related purposes, sponsored by Brittany Thornton. I would like to note that this item also did not complete a legal finance review and is missing other documents required such that a suspension of the rules would be required for this to be properly before us.
All right, thank you. Item 5 moved by Commissioner Mills, second by Commissioner Thornton. Commissioner Thornton.
Chair, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, move to suspend the rules, seconded by? Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Can we do that without objection? Okay, hearing none, item 5 is properly before us. Commissioner Thorne, do you want to introduce the item?
Thank you, Chair. This particular item seeks to look at the oversight board process to ensure that we are properly considering the financials to be appropriated towards this particular issue. It is an item that has been requested by constituents to be heard, and I know on Monday there will be a number of constituents that are coming out to be able to just state what they would like to see related to this item. And so I would just ask that the body would entertain this discussion in committee and allow for the public to speak more poignantly on the issue on Monday.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Thornton. Chairwoman Avant?
Could legal, I guess I'm trying to understand how this particular resolution that's been introduced relates to what has already been passed by this body.
Megan Smith, County Attorney's Office. The first item that was passed by the body earlier this year approved extraordinary litigation, which is required by ordinance. And it approved a budget of money for that initial filing. in that litigation. After that resolution was passed, the litigation was filed. It is in active litigation before the court. This resolution appears to end all funding associated with continuing that litigation. It would have the effect of, in essence, of canceling the approval for extraordinary litigation that happened earlier this year. At least that's what the item seeks to do.
And with the litigation already in process, how would this resolution?
I interpret it as a item that seeks to rescind the initial authority granted by resolution earlier this year. I would not recommend approval of this item, as, you know, permanent steps were taken after the approval was given earlier this year, and this is being litigated before court. The county's interests in defending itself are being played out in court. Withdrawal of litigation and exposure to the county has to be evaluated by counsel and would ultimately have to be addressed in court. And the reality is those liabilities, that litigation is going to exist anyway because it has been undertaken already.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chairwoman Avant. Attorney Smith, can you give us an update on where this is? You know, I think either way, probably we would all want some resolution. I think that's my hope, is that whatever the court decides, it decides it expeditiously, because this sort of limbo area doesn't seem beneficial to anyone. So what's it's like either it's legal or it's not. So I don't understand give us an update on the timeline and how much longer you expect this to take.
Megan Smith, County Attorney's Office. I haven't spoken to outside counsel this week, but I'm happy to get that update for you all and have that on Monday.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be helpful. Thanks. All right, good. All right, anyone else? All right, seeing no one else on the screen, Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen to vote item 5. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Wright, and Thornton. Commissioners Clay Bibbs and Brooks have voted no. Commissioners Whaley and Chairwoman Avant have abstained. We have 3 ayes, 2 noes, 2 abstained.
All right, item 5 will go down with a favorable recommendation, and I think this is it. That's all we've got on budget. Okay, this will conclude committee number 1. Let's open committee 13, audit. We can read item number 1.
Item 1 is a resolution receiving and filing the fourth quarter report of the Shelby County Trustee for the year ending June 30th, 2026, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley.
Thank you. Item 1 here is moved by Commissioner Mills, seconded by Commissioner Thornton. All right, good morning. Good morning, Trustee Newman.
Good morning, Chair Whaley. Good morning, Commission. Regina Newman, County Trustee. This is our fourth quarter report for the year ending fiscal year 2026. And we're happy to just point out a couple of major items, which is number 1, we set a new record for collection rate, which was 97.69% as of June 30th for the 2025 taxes. And number 2, we'll go over it, but the investment portfolio for the county yielded $49.9 million, which is an all-time record as far as we can tell. So many thanks to the hard work of the staff for all that. On page 2, we have the total receipts report for June 30th. Essentially, nearly every category of county revenue came in at forecast or slightly above. And so the bottom line was 101.5% of forecast, which is about $16 million. The county did very well there. Sales tax continues to be up a little as well. The county clerk receipts were right on forecast. Ours were on forecast, and a few more here and there, differentiated in a very small fashion. So on page 6, the total amount of property taxes and pilots as to the amount billed as of June 30th, the 2025s were collected at 97.69%. So that is a new record, and that includes what appears to be a new record for the real estate taxes on the next page, which was 97.7. Every category was a little bit higher this year. So that is a good thing. We had been trending slightly down over time. The sales tax analysis on pages 11 and 12 indicates that sales taxes are up slightly for the cities, and the breakdown of all the places they go, the schools. Then the breakdown of property taxes and other taxes between general fund, schools, and debt service starts on page 13. That varies from year to year based on how many pennies of the property tax rate you put in each category. On page 17, we have a snapshot of the county's portfolio for fiscal 26. This is all county funds that are invested by the trustee. And the yield was 3.81, which again beat the state's portfolio. And on page 18, you can see the charts for investment interest received, which was $49.9 million. That is, and we've included an extra chart for you on page 19 this year, that is an all-time high in recorded history. That it's just above and beyond anything we've had before. And so the last 3 years have really been outstanding. Office activity and highlights for the fourth quarter was the high collection rate. We collected $22 million in delinquent property taxes, exceeding the goal in the forecast by 20%. The investment interest was increased. We were able to launch our new disaster recovery site, which is out near the assessor's office at Mullins Station. So that has been in planning for some time, so that the trustee's office has business continuity. In the event of an emergency downtown, we can't get to our building, we can still collect taxes, we can still receive them, we can still do accounting for the county, and all the staff is set up to work remote or at that location. So very pleased with the business continuity aspect of that. We completed testing of the new payment kiosks. 3 of them will be rolled out this coming year in the fall for tax season. We also have funds in the budget for 3 additional, which will be set up to do that and customized. We have a redesigned tax bill website on shelbycountytrustee.com, including the functionality to now abide by state statute, which allows redaction of certain names of law enforcement, people under protective orders, et cetera. So we can remove their names even though their bills and addresses and taxes still show. We processed 916 wheel tax rebate applications in the fourth quarter, which is, when you think back a few years ago, before you guys approved a sliding scale on the income limit for that, we only had 2,500 in a year. So that's increased greatly. 9,954 citizen applications got sent to the state for tax relief. State is still processing some of those. If you're hearing from constituents, some of those are still at the state being reviewed and approved. And as soon as we get them back and if the state approves them, that their matching fund checks will go through. We received 7,159 tax freeze applications, and we coordinated with county IT to successfully decommission multiple legacy Windows servers. So this is a good thing over time. Update on the Financial Empowerment Center on page 21. Which is almost $9.5 million in non-mortgage debt paid off by the clients. So they're doing very, very well. And $590,000 they've put in savings, even though the income range for our clients, the average income continues to decrease rather than increase. We also included for the end of the year on page 22 a trustee commission and fee chart. We did exceed for FY26 our anticipated trustee commission and fees by $1.6 million, and that is part of the money that we used in the budget. Then the reports on expiring pilots continue to accumulate at the end of the report. Mr. Lee is here. He will be bringing you these reports in the future. I should say Trustee-elect Lee. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
All right, thank you all so much. Can you, just before we go to the screen, great numbers on the investment revenue. Obviously, that's, especially if you go back super far, it's been incredible.
25 years, and it's just amazing.
So do you remind me what the fiscal year 27 forecast was for investment revenue, or what did you?
We don't actually do that. Finance does, the forecast. It's in the elected official fee line.
Right. Deputy Director Schambom, do you know what that is? The interest revenue forecast for 27, fiscal year 27? That's, okay. All right, Commissioner Thornton, I'll go to you.
Thank you, Chair. It's always good, Trustee, to hear your reports, particularly this one as you're going out. I heard new record. So kudos to your team for the work that you do. As I'm looking at the presentation, is there any way that you can give some type of just like subsidy snapshot so we can see historical data for the public-facing programs? I'm just curious of just like historical use of the programs. I think I've asked this before, just kind of trying to figure out for each of the programs how many citizens could qualify, how many are using, and how are we seeing that increase over time or stay, the same figure. It seems like things are increasing. And I just want to make sure, especially in District 10, as I'm talking to constituents, they're still learning of the offerings and the applications and the programs that exist, particularly for the elders. So, I don't think that we can ever stop trustee-elect thinking through how we continue to get that information out to people. So I'll just take note to fine-tune that question and get it to your office. And thank y'all for being so responsive. It's been a pleasure to work with your administration. You're always super responsive, and I just appreciate all that you do. One final question related to the collections. We've been talking about data centers, and I'm just curious, have the data centers actually paid their property taxes, or are there any delinquent data centers?
Regine Newman, County Trustee. 2025 taxes are mostly paid. Those have passed. 2026, just FYI, the electronic bills went out last week. The mailed paper bills will be going out this month, by the end of the month. And the revenue on the 3 properties already owned by XAI is $27.7 million, which we anticipate coming in. They have not been late.
And so they paid their fiscal year 25 taxes?
Correct.
Okay. Well, with that, in the remaining time that I have, just to finance, I'm just curious, when will those fiscal year 26 actuals be presented to the commission?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
She's coming. I'm
Okay.
directing it to finance.
Good morning, Danielle Schambom, Deputy Director, Administration and Finance. We will bring in September, likely the second committee meeting in September, preliminary financials for the year ended June 30th, 2026. Obviously, our audit is just underway. The books will not be closed until the final numbers until the audit is concluded, but we will have preliminary numbers available next month.
And so the final numbers, do we have a rough timeline of when those will be?
We have a goal of having the audit completed by the end of December.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Brooks?
Thank you. Madam Trustee, can you tell me where would I find a listing of municipal fees and personal property fees collected?
Regina Newman, County Trustee, we don't collect municipal fees, so I wouldn't know. You'd have to check with each county. The personal property tax is in this report.
Okay, what page? I mean,
Okay.
personal properties, what page?
Personal property tax
Uh-huh.
collected is on page 8.
Page 8, oh, righty. Okay, do you have a more detailed, I don't want to put any work on you, but I guess I'd like to get a more detailed breakdown of these personal property assets.
Regina Newman, County Trustee, those would be on our website by item.
Okay. Oh, my
This is
goodness.
every business in town.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Maybe we could have a conversation about
Okay.
it in a capsule way, but just to give an idea of what can be improved. Okay. And so on the municipal fees, that's associated with the assessor's office, and I guess I need to go there, right? Because, they need to pay the assessor
Commissioner,
for doing their appraisals.
Oh,
Right.
that's what you're referring to. Yes,
Right.
that would
So
be
then-
handled by the assessor's office.
Okay,
Because the
So-
assessor's only property taxes, and we are only property taxes.
so where does that money go? It doesn't come
I couldn't
through
answer
you
that question,
to invest?
Commissioner.
Because most of the collected money comes to you, right?
Collected money does come to us, but it's attributed to each office's budget. So
Yeah.
presumably, it's all going to the general fund, but that would be a question for the assessor in finance.
Because it doesn't come to you.
It doesn't.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. I know that we have had the discussion about the 125 million, just being able to ensure that we can make payroll here while we're waiting for the collection of the taxes. So can you just remind us, when do we anticipate that the incoming taxes will allow us to have, access to the funds?
Regina Newman, County Trustee, we receive around $50 million a month. It increases a little bit up towards December. In December, the mortgage companies pay the realty taxes they handle. So we get about $350 million in December. That is not all general fund money. So the $350 million is not going to cover the $125 million with other expenses of the county. So I believe that the Department of Finance has explained that they anticipate paying by March, as we would receive all the money, almost 95% of this year's property tax money by the end of February. So that there should not be an issue paying back the $125 million.
Okay. And I believe that I had one additional question. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're up, Deputy Director Schonbaum.
Danielle Schonbaum, Deputy Director in Administration and Finance. I just want to be clear that we have up to $125 million available to borrow. It does not mean that we will borrow that full amount.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen to vote on item number 5. I'm sorry, item number 1. What am I talking about? Item number 1. All right, we can close the screen and record the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Mills, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 5 aye votes.
Thank you. Item 1 will go down with a favorable recommendation. This will conclude committee number 13.
All right, good morning. We'll begin committee number 3, Hospitals and Health. Madam Parliamentarian, can you read item number 1, please?
Item 1 is a resolution requesting increased public awareness of potential lead exposure through the Memphis and Shelby County Office of Construction Code Enforcement by providing educational materials to contractors, sponsored by Commissioner Brittany Thornton.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. This item was moved by Commissioner Bradford, second by Commissioner Thornton. All right, do we have a presentation on this item? Okay. All right, if you can come, state your name and your zip code, and you will have 3 minutes for your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Latricia Adams. My zip code is 38103. My apologies in advance if I sound a little raspy. The pollen is taking over my life today. But thank you so much for the opportunity to present on behalf of the Shelby County Lead Prevention and Sustainability Commission. This resolution, and thank you to Commissioner Thornton, was actually brought forward by a community member, where essentially they highlighted that when there is a private job done by an independent plumber, that they were not actually providing equitable information about lead poisoning prevention. Essentially with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, when they have contractors that come to do any type of work underground that may impact a service line, they do indeed provide information about precautions should there be a lead service line. However, there wasn't continuity should a resident secure their own plumber. So with this process, we're very excited that this was very collaborative, where this resolution was very much so thoughtfully crafted and co-designed with the Memphis Lead Coalition, which includes entities like Labana. Also, we were excited to have Memphis Light, Gas, and Water to also be a partner with thinking through what would be the best process to ensure that all residents, regardless if they are being serviced by Memphis Light, Gas, and Water or an independent plumber, will receive that same type of precaution. In addition to that, we did have an opportunity to engage with code enforcement, where essentially they will act as an advocate and support to ensure that there is guidance as well as support with distribution of a digital document. And that document is also in your presentation materials that was co-designed by Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, the Memphis Lead Coalition, as well as Labana, to ensure that there comprehensive guidance around making sure that we exercise all precautions with lead poisoning prevention with constituents and consumers. That really wraps it up. Thank you so much for the consideration of this resolution to continue being a leader, not just in Tennessee, but in the region as it relates to lead poisoning prevention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Brooks, you're in the queue with questions.
I think this is from last time, but I will take advantage of the opportunity. I'm sorry, you represent?
Yes, ma'am. Latricia Adams with the Shelby County Lead Prevention and Sustainability Commission. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, congratulations on getting this far with MLGW. I believe not USDA, but the Department of Energy required MLGW to replace those lines back in 2022 or maybe 2021 prior to that. And so now what you're presenting here is movement on that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. So the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, did make that mandate with the lead and copper rule improvements. And so, yes, MLGW actually started doing lead service line replacement actually back in 2012. However, at that time, they weren't doing full service line replacement. And so now, under the leadership of President McGowan, they have moved forward early with doing the full service line replacement. And so a part of what this resolution does is just to make sure that everyone has an even playing field with the type of information that they have to make sure that they're safe.
That's great. So one more thing. So when we say full line replacement, we mean from the road all the way inside the house, right?
Yes,
Okay.
so, yes, ma'am. So from the public side all the way up into the house. Also, MLGW became the first utility in the state of Tennessee's history to get and secure state revolving funds that will go towards full replacement, meaning that they will cover the costs for free or at a discounted rate for those residents that are unable to pay for the replacement on the public side.
Okay, so is that information out? Do we know who qualifies and how are we getting that, that information out to the public? Seems like that's really great because we have so many old homes, particularly in the core city, where those lines need to be replaced. And I would hope that all of our county agencies will have that information on their little shelves and, counters, what have you. But how are you all getting that information out?
Yes, ma'am. So in my other role that I play with Young, Gifted, and Green, we do monthly canvassing where we use MLGW's GIS map, which actually locates all of the lead service lines. Every month, we go door knocking to those residents that have confirmed lead service lines, and we provide that information to them. Also, with the Memphis Lead Coalition, which includes Le Bonheur, some other agencies, both on the county and the city side, also work with MLGW to distribute that information through other community-based organizations, neighborhood associations. But I think that it's a great idea to try to get other agencies that are community-facing to share this information as well.
Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
I think the next person in queue is Commissioner Thornton.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to sing your praises, Latricia, just for your leadership. I just appreciate you for making sure that this did not fall to the wayside. I also want to give a shout out to Attorney Chandler, who played a great role in being able to have this on the floor today. So thank you to the coalitions. Please send my regards to the rest of the team, Le Bonheur, MLGW, the Lead Coalition, some of the others that you've mentioned as well. And I just appreciate you for keeping this at the forefront of Shelby County.
Commissioner Clay Bibbs had to step out for just a second, so I'm going to wrap us up here. Commissioner Brooks?
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Brooks to be added as a sponsor, seconded by Commissioner Thornton. I don't hear any objections. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. And if you'll just state your name and zip code for the record. Is your mic on?
There we go. Ta-da. Nadia Logan Robinson, Deputy Division Director for the Division of Planning and Development, which includes the Office of Construction Code Enforcement. And we have a number of our contingent here. Of course, we'll be supporting significantly the distribution of information through plumbers. So when a plumbing permit is issued, with that issuance will come the information that the coalition prepared. And I just wanted to make one note, since this was an opportunity to talk about the educational material. We would like to request just one final communication and meeting to further refine the information that's shared. We consulted with many of the plumbers that are our customers, that are our partners in code enforcement. They had a few additions to the materials that they would like represented, and that would help them better educate
customers, since they are the ones that are going to have these communications with homeowners. So they wanted to make sure that their ideas were represented. Several of them are here today. I don't know if they want to speak, but they can raise their hand. And we just want to say, on behalf of code enforcement, thank you to them for offering their input and for being here today to represent the Plumbers Union and sharing their thoughtful engagement as well.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here and spending some time this morning with us. Seeing no other commissioners in the queue, we will take this item to a vote. All right, if all commissioners have had the opportunity to vote, let's tally the results.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 4 aye votes.
This item will go down with a favorable recommendation, and this concludes Committee Number 3, Hospitals and Health.
We will now convene Committee Number 11, Core City Neighborhoods and Housing. Madam Parliamentarian, please read the first item.
Item 1 is a resolution approving the sale of 17 county-owned delinquent tax parcels acquired by Shelby County from various Shelby County tax sales to identified purchasers at various prices, collectively totaling $167,126 pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated Section 67-5-2507, and authorizing the Shelby County Mayor to execute with claim deed, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. This item has been moved by Commissioner Mills, second by myself. And we have a presentation from Ms. Sykes-Wood.
Thank you, Esther Sykes-Wood, Land Bank Administrator. The total back taxes for the properties were $204,314.33. The total asking price was $134,156.25. The total sales price was $167,126. So we were $32,969.75 over the asking price for these properties. However, it's a negative back tax collection of $98,999.83. We have 4 out-of-town purchasers buying 15 DTPs, and 15 of the properties were sold for less than back taxes.
The 15 out-of-town purchasers, they were sold for back taxes?
Sorry, it was 4.
All 15?
One second. So 15 properties were sold for less than back taxes, but not all 15 were out-of-town purchasers.
How many of the ones sold for less than back taxes were out of town?
One moment.
Well, we don't have to
So-
take a lot. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. It looks like all the ones that were sold to out-of-town purchasers were sold for less than back taxes, and that was 9 total properties.
Okay, all of them, back taxes?
Less than back taxes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, seeing no other members in the queue, let's move to the vote, Madam Clerk, if you'll prepare the screen. Every member desiring to vote, please cast your vote. Every member voted? Madam Clerk, may we have a tally?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 3 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This item goes down with a favorable recommendation. Madam Parliamentarian, item number 2, please.
Item 2 is a resolution, is an ordinance third reading, joint ordinance of the Shelby County Board of Commissioners and Memphis City Council to amend ordinance numbers 581 County and 5946 City to repeal and replace the existing building home program implementation plan and to establish a building home program application fee, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. This item has been moved by Commissioner Bradford, second by myself. And we have 2 presenters. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning Development. These are 6 amendments to the current ordinance, and we presented these a couple of times. We're happy to present them again or answer any questions you might have.
Well, I think since you presented it so many times, that everyone's probably memorized everything you said, all 6 amendments.
Yes.
So, seeing no any members on the board, we'll move to the vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen. Every member cast your vote. Every member voted. Professional. Madam Clerk, may we have a tally, please?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Brooks and Bradford. We have 2 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item goes down with a favorable recommendation. And unless you all have something else to say, that concludes Core City Neighborhoods and Housing. Thank you very much. We will now convene Committee 10, General Government. Madam Parliamentarian, please read the first item.
Item 1 is a resolution approving the election of notaries public for appointment and a reappointment for Shelby County, Tennessee, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you. That item was moved by Commissioner Bradford and second by myself. And do we have a report from the County Attorney's Office?
Jordan Galtelli, County Attorney's Office. There are no conflicts to report.
Okay, thank you very much for that report. Seeing no members in the queue, we'll move to the vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen. Okay, the screen is prepared. Every member cast your vote. Madam Clerk, may we have a tally?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 3 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item goes down with a favorable recommendation. Madam Parliamentarian, item number 2, please.
Item 2 is an ordinance third reading, ordinance to amend the Shelby County Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 2, to add a new Section 2-191, Financial Reports, sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman.
Okay, since Commissioner Sugarman is not here, I'm going to move it. Can we get a second? And we can send it down without recommendation. It's been moved by myself and second by Commissioner Thornton. Since the sponsor is not here, is there anyone in the audience prepared to speak on this? Seeing none, I would move that we will send this down without recommendation. Can we do that without objection? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? Second. Okay, it's been moved by myself and properly second by Chair Avant to send this down without recommendation. I thought we could do that without objection.
That's just withdrawing an option, an item.
Okay, all right, thank you. So moved. Okay, item number 3.
Item 3 is a resolution approving a contract with ComSite Corporation for employee assistance services upon execution through June 30th, 2027, with the option for 2 additional one-year periods beginning July through June in an amount not to exceed $143,220. This item requires the annual expenditure of County Internal Service Fund FY 2027 Employee Group Health Insurance in the amount of $143,220, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. This item has been moved by Commissioner Thornton and second by myself. Chairwoman Avant. We have presenters.
Good morning,
You're recognized.
Commissioners. This is Dr. Lasagna Hall, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. The resolution before you simply seeks approval for EAP services for all employees in the county, and the award is to ComSite Corporation. This item is approved and already incorporated within our FY27 budget. Joining me to give and provide any questions or answers to any question is our very capable HR Administrator of Benefits, Brenda Green, and a representative from ComSite Corporation.
Ms.
Good
Green.
morning, Commissioners. Brenda Green, Deputy Administrator for HR. As Dr. Hall stated, this is an agreement between Shelby County Government and ComSite Corporation to provide employee assistance services to the county's active and retired employee populations. The county did issue a request for proposal for employee assistance program on February 4th, 2026, with responses due March 4th, 2026. The county's consultant Gallagher assisted with the criteria and the specifications and the worker scope for the RFP. With me this morning, I do have Ms. Marissa Combs-Smith, who is our Area Executive VP from the public sector for Gallagher, and Gallagher did assist Shelby County government with the evaluation of this proposal. Just to give you a few highlights of the RFP that was submitted by ComSite. ComSite provides 24/7 access to master's level clinicians. It's a national global provider network. They have creative communications. They have local in-person and telebehavioral EAP assessments. They are also the largest provider of mental and well-being services for employees. With this contract, the county will receive 12 sessions for our employees, counseling sessions. We'll receive 35 hours of training, and that training can involve critical incident as well as additional health fairs. And they are also well-versed in well-being coaching. We will receive also 35 hours annually for supervisory training, employee education, and critical incident response. Any questions at this time?
Oh, let me get out of here. Need to get back to Commissioner Thornton.
Thank you, Chair. So for this particular item, I see that there are 3 local vendors that are in our portal. When we send out our solicitations, this went to a non-local vendor who was the only one that submitted a proposal. Do y'all know anything about the local vendors, about just how their capacity compares to this non-local vendor?
No, we do not.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Just always elevating the presence of local talent that doesn't make it past this crucial step of actually being able to submit a successful proposal. So I would just be curious if you could just look into a follow-up just to see why the solicitation was received, but no proposal was submitted. If there's anything that you could do, that would just be helpful, just to increase local spend here in Shelby County. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no other members in the queue, I did want to point out something that I just want to commend you for I'm not sure who I need to commend, but in the documents under reports in your little contract, I love this. This is wonderful. I don't know if this is new or what, but where you have, let's see, under contracts, go to reports, and it says the contractor will prepare and submit quarter reports, activities, of all the activities funded under this contract to the originating department and the contract administration. And these reports will include an itemization of the use of county's funds and shall be inclusive of specific services. I mean, this is wonderful. Do you hear me? I am about to say, shout and say hallelujah. I don't know if is this a new contract format or what? It's new? No. Oh, it was just specific to this particular contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, listen, we need to model this countywide. I love it. Thank you very much, Ms. Green. Dr. Hall.
Thank you.
Okay. It's just full disclosure, accountability, and transparency. That's what we need to be about. Okay, see no other members in the queue. Let's move to the vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen. Every member cast your vote. Every member voted. Madam Clerk, may we have a tally, please?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Brooks, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 5 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This item moves down with a favorable recommendation. Thank you, ladies, for that. Item number 4, Madam Parliamentarian.
Item 4 is a resolution approving an agreement with Cigna Healthcare, Inc. for medical administrative services for employees and pre-65 retirees with an annual fee of $2,200,000 and renewal of stop-loss insurance with an annual premium of $823,116. This item requires the annual expenditure of employee group health insurance funds in the amount of $2,660,342 and other post-employment benefits OPEB trust funds in the amount of $362,774, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. This item has been moved by Commissioner Thornton and second by Commissioner Mills.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Dr. Lasagna Hall, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. This item is our effort, the administration's effort, to ensure that all employees and all active retirees pre-65 have adequate health care provided. The administration recommends approval. Again, I am here to also highlight that this item is within the FY27 budget. It has been approved. The administration seeks your approval, and joining me again is our very capable Ms. Brenda Green, our HR benefits administrator and guest from Gallagher.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brenda Green, Deputy Administrator, HR. And as Dr. Hall stated, we do have present with us this morning Ms. Marissa Combs, who is with Gallagher. Gallagher was the consultant that assisted us with this RFP. So this item is an agreement between Shelby County government and Cigna Healthcare to provide administrative services and stop-loss insurance for Shelby County's active employees and our pre-65 retirees as well. We did issue a request for proposal on March the 27th. Responses were due on March the 27th, 2026. And Gallagher did assist us with the preparation of the RFP. The evaluation team selected Cigna Healthcare as the provider for employee health care administrative services. The contract with Cigna is effective January the 1st, 2027 through December 31st, 2027, with 2 additional one-year renewal periods. Just some highlights from the proposal that was received from Cigna Healthcare. This proposal provided minimal disruption as far as our providers are concerned. For the most part, all of the providers are still members of the Cigna network, so there will be no disruption to our employees and to our retirees. Also, GEO access. By GEO access, I mean that we have specialists, we have OBGYNs, pediatricians. Those are sufficient to serve the populations here for Shelby County government. Also, we have annual allowances that Cigna will be contributing for our wellness program, for our communication and education allowances, as well as our dialysis program. In addition, with this contract, we are receiving 2 new hospitals that will be added to the network, and those are Baptist Memorial Hospital DeSoto and Baptist Memorial Hospital, Crittenden County. This contract, as I stated before, the fees are guaranteed for the full 3 years, so for the first year of the contract and for the 2 additional 1-year renewals. We'll accept questions at this time.
I do have a couple of questions. Ms. Combs, can you just briefly tell us your role?
I'm happy to do that. Marissa Combs-Smith, Area Executive Vice President with Gallagher Benefit Services. I serve Tennessee Public Sector. In my capacity with Shelby County specifically, I am a bit newer to this account in the sense that I have supported Robin Donschbach and Ms. Green and her team throughout preparation for today, and then evaluation of the proposals was handled by our Gallagher team members. Moving forward, I will continue to support this office and all evaluations of benefits that happen, anything that supports the employee relationship from an employee benefit perspective will be something that I do as your consultant.
So you're like a liaison between the employees, Shelby County employees, and Cigna?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, Ms. Green, can you tell me what's new, what's changed or expanded, and whether or not anything's deleted? I mean, that stands out, that's really big, that is hugely used.
So as far as this proposal that was received, I did mention that we have 2 additional hospitals.
Right, and I have a question about that, but yeah, in addition to that.
And of course, the annual allowances that will be provided with this contract. There will be times when Cigna will be able to provide services for us concerning our wellness program. They will also provide communications and education allowance for our employees. They also will coordinate our dialysis program, which we have in place. It's been in place for a number of years, but they will continue to do the coordination for that as well.
So have any major programs that employees frequently use, have they been expanded or deleted or changed in any way?
No, most of the programs have remained in place. There have been periodically maybe 1 or 2 programs that have been added, especially in the wellness area, with our wellness center and different things that we do to ensure that we have proper equipment for our employees. So the expansion has really been more so in that area.
Okay. Well, I see no other members in the queue. No questions, going once. Thank you for your presentation. Madam Clerk, may we prepare the screen for the vote? Every member cast your vote, please. Every member voted. May we have a tally?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Brooks, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 5 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item goes down with a favorable recommendation. And thank you, ladies, for your presentation.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, item number 5, Madam Parliamentarian.
Item 5 is a resolution approving the expenditure of funds to United States Postal Service in an amount not to exceed $1 million for Shelby County Government Support Services for fiscal year 2027, ending June 30th, 2027. This item requires expenditure of fiscal year 2027 general funds in an amount not to exceed $1 million, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks.
Thank you. That item has been moved by Commissioner Bradford and second by Commissioner Mills. And we do have a presenter. Would you please, you're recognized, sir. Should be a little button over there to push. Let me turn this off.
Okay. Good afternoon, Commissioners and Chairman. My name is Samuel McClinton. I am the Deputy Administrator for Support Services, and I'm here to talk about the item we have here. This item is a resolution seeking approval to extend funds for the Postal Services for various Shelby County government departments. Support Services is an entity in this government county government responsible for collecting, handling, and transporting processing over 1 million pieces of metered mail annually. And in order to do so, postage for our metered machines are numbered from the United States Postal Services. And as you can imagine, the increase for cost postage coupled with the increased services have caused various county departments to require additional mail services. And as this is traditional services needed within the Support Service Department, our request is for services was vetted and approved by the Shelby County Purchase Department as a sole source. And we expect to expend an amount not to exceed $1 million. And the administration is asking for your recommendations approved for this item. At the same time, this is a funding that's already included in our FY27 budget, so we're asking for you approval for that.
Thank you so much. All right, we do not have any members in the queue, so we will move to the vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for the vote. Every member cast your vote. Any member desiring to change your vote? Madam Clerk, may we have a tally?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Brooks, and Bradford. We have 4 aye votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item moves down with a favorable recommendation. Item number 6, Madam Parliamentarian, please read the caption.
Item 6 is a resolution to amend Rules 6 and 7 of the Board of Commissioners Permanent Rules of Order for the purpose of removing references to the Minority and Women-Owned Business Program in order to comply with applicable laws, sponsored by Chairwoman Shantae K. Avant.
Okay, this item has been moved by Commissioner Bradford, second by Commissioner Thornton. Mr. Wilburn, do you want to speak on this? Or the sponsor? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just in line with what state legislation has passed, we no longer have an MWBE, and so we just wanted to clean up the language in our permanent rules to reflect such.
Okay, having heard the explanation of the sponsor, seeing no members in the queue, let's move to the vote. Madam Clerk, would you please prepare the screen? Every member cast your vote.
many mics on. We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Brooks has voted no. I'm sorry. We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, and Chairwoman Avant, and Commissioner Brooks has abstained. We have 3 ayes, 1 abstained.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That item goes down with a favorable recommendation. For the record, let the record reflect that the chair abstained from this item because I disagree with the philosophy and the motivation, the intent behind it. I think it sets us back 75 years. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to overcome this, but I don't want my grandchildren to have to read these records and see that I supported this. Thank you. All right, item number 7, Madam Parliamentarian.
Item 7 is a resolution granting an honorary street name change of Carterville Place in unincorporated Shelby County to Anna Harwell Place, sponsored by Commissioner Amber Mills.
Okay, this item has been moved by Commissioner Mills and second by Commissioner Thornton. Right, and it looks like we have a speaker. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Or it may be afternoon.
How are you all doing today?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well.
Okay, did you want to speak now or you want to wait for the sponsor?
I can speak now or wait for the sponsor.
Okay, you recognize Commissioner Mills.
Thank you so much, Chair Brooks. This is Miss Anna Harwell. I got a letter not long ago with a petition signed by all her neighbors in her community requesting that there be an honorary street named after her because she is such a treasured figure in her community, and Miss Harwell turned 80 years young this month. So, and she's still a crossing guard for North Haven and E.E. Jeter. So I'm glad we're somewhat on schedule today because she's got to get back before school gets out.
Yeah, right.
So I would appreciate your support in this honoring Ms. Harwell, who is deeply respected in her community here in Shelby County. And I would turn the floor over to her as the chair wishes.
Ms. Harwell, you recognize, and you've been here all morning, haven't you? Pretty much.
Pretty new.
Okay, well, you recognize
Yeah.
to make your comments.
Yeah, this is a thought that just came across my mind one day. I was at home and I just said, I'm going to see if I can get the street named after me. I feel like it's my street. I've been in this house for 50 years, and I have children, so many grandchildren and children over there in North Haven, and everything. They show me love, and I just want to show them some love by passing by, seeing a street name with my name on it and everything. And I've been a crossing guard at North Haven since '79, and
goodness.
I've
Bless you.
been just working in the school crossing job ever since January the 3rd of 1979. And I hope to just keep on working and working and working. And I just hope I can get this street named after me. I'm 80 years old now, and I know I can't have too many more years left here. But then again, I might have.
You probably do.
Yeah, because my daddy died in 2 weeks before he would have been 99, and my mom died a day before she would have been 93. And I just feel like I would live to get as old as they did, at least. Like Jesus just came, stood in front of me and told me that. But then again, I still don't have too many more years, if that's true, because I'm 80. But thank God for that, and everything. So I'm just hoping this will pass, and it will make me so happy, happy, happy.
Well, we want to make you happy, happy, happy. We do. Thank you so much. And, I love your spirit. I mean, if you want something, you just say, well, You're going to make it happen.
Oh, yeah, I don't stop until
I love it.
yeah.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
one of my sons told Mama, you know those people not gonna do that. I said, you know for sure one thing,
Right.
they can either do it or not do it.
There you go.
Yeah,
I love
yes.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, Chair Aban.
Well, thank you for coming and bringing a light, some bright sunshine to our meeting today. It is wonderful to see someone 80 years young who is doing the work and really supporting our kids. And I can only imagine how they feel and how their mothers who have gone to North Haven before them and their fathers, all the people since 1979 get to say they get to see a street with your name because you greeted them when they came to school and when they left school. And that kind of care, it takes a special individual. So thank you for being here with us today, and so excited to support this resolution. Thank you, Commissioner Mills, for bringing it forward.
Commissioner Thornton. Can you get on?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Harwell, again, for being here. This is really cool. I haven't seen an honorary street naming since I've been here for the past 4 years, so you are historic in my book, and I just thank you so much for just being you. The crossing guard is very important to so many children, and you've taken care of so many, so I look forward to them celebrating you. I would just love to be there when this actually is executed, so if you could somehow shoot me a text, because I think this will happen after we roll off. But yeah, I would love to come out to see this special day for you. And thank you for all that you do.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Harwell, I want to just say in final comments, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for, you said 50 years as a crossing guard, and that's very important.
Yeah.
As my colleagues said, crossing guards are important to children. I've seen where they are not crossing guards, and we have not had real good outcomes. But, you know, to be on the job for 50 years and look as good as you do.
Well, thank you. You just
Get
made
up
my
and-
day.
Thank you so much, and
Okay.
definitely I want an invitation to that street naming.
Okay.
I'd love to be there. Thank you, Commissioner Mills, for bringing this forward. All right, seeing no other members in the queue, let's take this to a vote. Madam Clerk? Every member voted?
Madam Chair, if I could just ask, if IT could come, I'm not able to see the screen in order to see both the agenda and items attached. I am able to vote, but I'm not able to see as items are coming before us on the agenda.
Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, may we have a recommendation? May we have the vote tally?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Brooks, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 5 aye votes.
Okay, and thank you so much. That item goes down with a favorable recommendation. And let's see. That concludes general government. We are adjourned.
All right, I'd like to call to order Committee 4, Equal Opportunity. Parliamentarian, if you could read item 1.
Item 1 is an ordinance third reading. Ordinance amending Shelby County Government's locally owned small business LOSB ordinance section 2-224 in order to apply 25% LOSB goals for construction and construction-related services based upon market availability and to maintain the sheltered market threshold at less than $50,000 in the county's procurement process, sponsored by Chairwoman Shante K. Avant, Commissioner Miska Clay Bibbs, Commissioner Mikhail Lowry, Commissioner Charlie A. Caswell Jr., Commissioner Henry E. Brooks, Commissioner Brittany Thornton, and Commissioner Erica Sugarman. This item was substituted in August 10th, 2026 Commission meeting.
Thank you. Administrator Wilburn?
Shep Wilburn, EOC Administrator. Per your last,
My apologies. I don't know who made the motion. Motion by Commissioner Bradford, a second by Commissioner Thornton. Thank you. My apologies. My screen is not working.
good.
I mean,
Shep Wilburn, EOC Administrator. Thank you, Chairman, for letting me make this presentation today, and to all of you. Per our last committee meeting and our last reading, which was second reading, where I emphasized that purchasing and EOC had come to an agreement. Those items that got changed and those items that stayed, I will, if you choose, reiterate them. If not, nothing has changed from the second reading on your last commission meeting until this committee meeting.
Commissioner Bradford?
There we go. I have ABC, Associated Builders and Contractors, has reached out about this, and they have a few concerns more about the threshold numbers that we talked about. And so if you haven't, I'm going to request somehow you get in touch with ABC. I think MAMCA has some concerns as well. And then I didn't know if you'd talked to Ms. Booker at the consortium either. I think those organizations may want to see that threshold come up a little bit, especially when we're considering construction projects. And so if you hadn't had those discussions, I encourage either them to reach out to you or you to reach out to them. I'm certainly happy to help make that connection. But just hopefully that'll happen before Monday. So if we need to make any last minute changes, we can.
Sure, I'll be happy, Commissioner Shep Wilburn, EOC Administrator. I would be happy to reach out to them, Commissioner. If you will recall, the limits basically came from the data that was submitted by Griffin and Strong, and it was submitted to you guys with the decision-making process if you wanted to stay where they suggested or you wanted to go up or down. As it turned out, we raised the $1 million level to $2.5 million. We left construction the same at $5 million. I know that's probably the one that you're most concerned about. And we basically left the IT situation at $15 million, IT security guards. The construction one was one where there's room for an argument to be made to go higher. And there's room for, obviously, argument to be made to leave it where it is, given that most of our small construction businesses are $5 million or less. I understand that may impact some of those businesses that have historically been able to seek being qualified as a LOSB, and that we gave extensions to who actually exceeded the $5 million. But this is, again, a decision that was vested with you guys based upon a suggestion and recommendation from Griffin and Strong, that $5 million would basically capture the majority of your small construction businesses.
Just to follow, my understanding is some of the MAMCA members cannot still qualify under that. And also looking at the list that we have, a lot of the folks that are qualified under that are more on the side of landscaping and some of the minor services when it comes into construction, and not some of the more major services and that kind of stuff. So I'll see if I can have somebody with Mankey to reach out to you, or possibly on hand on Monday to help speak to that. And kind of as a sidebar, what does City of Memphis do? Because I think Griffin and Strong provided the same study for them, and we're pulling from kind of the same groups of people. So I was wondering, are we in line with what City of Memphis is doing? Would it make sense to follow their lead?
The City of Memphis, Shep Wilburn, EOC Administrator, the City of Memphis has historically used SBA standards, which are way higher than ours. And as this debate evolved and was started, it was the Commission's desire years ago, in 2007, to make sure this was a true small business program. That is why the limits, although we talked about it for a while, have never been raised beyond what they were in 2007. But I think we all agree that it needed to be revisited, because if nothing else, inflation would have made that limit be higher, just on rational thought. The bottom line is that the city has taken the position that if SBA, and SBA, by the way, considers a small construction firm to be $12, $13 million. It's way above what we have had as our limit and what others may consider to be small. So there was a decision to be made. It was your decision. You felt like it was justified that it ought to be $7.5 million. That's fine with me. It was a decision, it's fine with Griffin and Strong. Their point was the majority of your businesses that are construction-related, that are small, fall under the $5 million category. Now, there are some, because it's not just construction, it's construction and construction-related. And one of the things that may be able to happen in the new commission as we move forward is there may be able to be more segmentation with this, where we can begin to pull out some businesses for a higher limit and some businesses for a lower limit. But at this time, we were working with just the 3 categories that we already had as a way of adjusting them. But I certainly am not opposed to having further conversation, further segmentation, because I think within that $2.5 million category, you're going to have some more segmentation at some point.
Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Bradford, for bringing in some additional discussion about this item. And so I'm just trying to understand the feedback that you're bringing in for us to dig deeper into and what you're saying. So you're saying that you have heard mention that which part of it is not sufficient? Is it the 12 million to 7.5 million, or is it the 25% cap on construction? Through the chair to the question.
Yeah, it's the first. None of the organizations have had a problem with the 25% LOSB, and in fact, many of them are supportive of that. It's more how do we get to that, because what companies can qualify for that. And so when you get to the world of construction, obviously with costs and escalation, everything going up over the years, $1 million or whatever the threshold isn't the same thing it was when this was set up. And so a lot of the organizations are saying, look, we are effectively a small business, but we're doing, more than what your threshold has. And so any other organization sees us as a small business, but when we come to do work for Shelby County, we can't qualify as that. And so I'll try and get MAMCA and some of the other folks to reach out to Shep and hopefully be here and pull an appearance card on Monday so they can kind of speak to what their organization wants.
And so thank you for that. And just to be clear, Administrator, so with that in mind, where specifically in this particular ordinance would we make potential changes? Which of the figures would be adjusted?
Shep Wilburn, ELC Administrator. This process began with the premise that the income limits, which is what we're discussing now, may need to be adjusted, and that we were going to collect data to see where the most practical, realistic, and efficient level of adjustment would be. Out of that data came a suggestion that the limits be maintained for construction at 5 million because of the, I want to say, close to 383 construction firms that were eligible to be labeled as LOSBs rather, that most of them were below the $5 million level.
So if I could just ask, when you say that we as a county are at 7.5 million, is
No,
that?
we're not at 7.5.
So we're at 5.
We're at 5.
Okay, and then I just have a question to the parliamentarian. Because this is a third reading, if we make amendments to it, we can do that in committee, but if we do it on Monday, does that trigger a fourth reading? Can you just refresh my memory on what the rule is?
I got it now. Yes, ma'am. Even if you made the amendments today, it's just a recommendation, and so it would be amended on third reading, which would require an additional reading, or that you suspend the rules such that that rule does not apply, and then you can vote.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to get back in queue.
Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. So 7.5, is that the cap that we have, or can you just talk more, if we're talking about increasing it beyond 5 million, where would you recommend that we lock in this figure?
Shep Wilburn, ELC Administrator. Again, it depends upon how you want to view this. And I think Commissioner Bradford brought a very valid point. Wherever you cut it off, there are going to be some firms that are not going to be included.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you call small they're not going to be included unless you're going to go sort of the city's route and adopt SBAs. And, now you're talking about construction firms being small at 12 and $13 million. And again, that's your decision. That's a decision you can make. But the data shows that the majority of construction firms that you have that could be considered small are below 5 million. Can you raise it to 7.5 million? There's an argument that could be made to raise it to 7.5 million. You certainly are going to have some firms that are outside the 5 million that could possibly be considered small that 7.5 would capture. You could, it's a decision that you make. It depends upon what you want to make the decision on. How inclusive, how large, because the danger you have is the larger the firms are under the LOSB category, the more you're going to have competition between large firms and small firms. And the idea was that the LOSB was supposed to be a competition between small firms only.
Right.
So a $10 million firm or $7.5 million firm is going to be totally different than a $2 million firm bidding on the same contract. And if they're both LOSBs, they both have the opportunity to do that.
And so do you have a sense today of how many additional firms would fall in between that gap of 5 million and 7.5 million?
I would be speculating. I'd have to get the research and tell you, but it's not a lot.
Okay, if you could just bring that into Monday. And I think just listen to the discussion. I hear the feedback from the other firms, but I do believe, seeing how much I've called into question related to our solicitations and successful proposals, that we do need to hold space for the local capacity to rise up. And so I'm in favor of keeping that as a smaller cap, to be able to ensure that there is an opportunity for us to cultivate here and get people into a more competitive bracket. And so we'll look to see what that discussion looks like on Monday. But if we can have some additional input, that will be helpful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Thornton, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 3 aye votes.
That goes down with a favorable recommendation. That concludes.
I did want to note, though, that if there is a request for an amendment on third reading on Monday, and it somehow delays the adoption of this ordinance, they'll have to start over because it can cross into the new term. So we'd have to start over for a first reading. So just put that on the record as well so people can be prepared.
Okay, thank you. This concludes Committee 14.
All right, calling to order Committee 16, Milton Community Enhancement Grants. Madam Parliamentarian, can you read item number 1?
Item 1 is an ordinance third reading. Ordinance by the Board of Commissioners of Shelby County, Tennessee to establish additional accountability, reporting, and eligibility requirements for grants as approved by the Shelby County Board of Commissioners, sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman, Commissioner Mick Wright, Commissioner Brittany Thornton, and Commissioner Amber Mills. This item was deferred in June 24th, 2026 committee meeting.
Thank you. This item has been moved by Commissioner Bradford, second by Commissioner Thornton. Do we have anyone to speak on the item, perchance, that I don't see here? Any commissioners that want to speak on this particular third reading? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you prepare the screens for voting? All commissioners having voted, please report the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 4 aye votes.
This item goes down with favorable recommendation. Madam Parliamentarian, can you read item number 2?
Item 2 is a resolution awarding county funds in the amount of $51,429 to the Shelby County Sheriff's Office on November 1st, 2026, and approving a purchase of a 2027 Ram 2500 Crew Cab 4x4 from A.J. Doman, CDJR, on behalf of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. This item requires an expenditure of $51,429 from the Milton Community Enhancement Program Grant Fund, sponsored by Commissioner Amber Mills.
Thank you. This item has been moved by Commissioner Mills, second by Commissioner Thornton. Commissioner Mills, you are recognized.
Thank you. If you all will remember last year during some of the CEP grant awards, we were able to start up the mounted unit with the Sheriff's Department. And this is just a truck that was kind of, if we had grant funds the following year, would then be put in for the unit. And I've spoken to the incoming District 1 Commissioner. She's on board with this, but y'all would see it again in November. But this way they can get it on their order list for later. And that's it.
All right, thank you for that explanation. Any other commissioners with question on this item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you prepare the screens for voting? Madam Clerk, please report the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Mills, Thornton, Bradford, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 4 aye votes.
All right, this item passes. Do we have any add-ons for this committee? All right, seeing none, this adjourns my last committee as a first-time elected. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to the chairwoman. I appreciate you for this committee. And this adjourns our committee for today. So thank you. Yeah, at first I was like, right. But when I hear Monica, I think about, I'm really trying to figure out where it's originating from. If this message to increase the cap is coming from a majority company,